In this video, I'll be taking you through the likely upgrades that the new iPad Pro will get, what is likely to stay the same, and what that all means for us in practical terms. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, hello again. I do down-to-earth tech reviews with a little bit of fun. I plan to be doing loads of videos on the new iPad and eventually reviewing it, getting accessories for it, so make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. And don't forget to hit the notification bell and leave a comment down below with the hashtag BellGang for a special shout out in the next iPad video. That was way too loud. With so many of us still working from home, Apple are looking to cash in on the fact that studying and working remotely are likely to stay quite popular for a while, even after we return to working in offices and going to schools. I know from my own experience that employers in the corporate world are changing the working policies to allow for a more flexible workforce. And the same with schools. A lot of schools are incorporating the use of technology in their plans, and when it comes to flexibility, the iPad is a great device for that. We were all expecting an Apple event this week. Personally, I was so hyped for it, and the main reason I was excited about it was the new iPad lineup. Yeah, I know we could still see a new iPad Pro in an announcement, but given how many upgrades are expected, and frankly, if Apple are to follow their own previous releases, this one does feel like it should be in a big event. This is my Gen 1 iPad Pro. It doesn't feel bad for a 2015 device. I still use it. I still do a lot of work on it, but the battery doesn't last as much as it did before, and the screen resolution of the Retina display, even though it is the same resolution as the recent iPad Pros, compared with those newer devices, it doesn't have the same display features and just feels ancient. I'm not gonna lie, usually with new Apple products, it's rather the case of I really want it rather than I really need it. Case in point, the Apple AirPods Pro. Really didn't need it, but as soon as it was announced, I really wanted it. Call me an Apple fanboy, iSheep, yeah. But I run a tech channel after all, so I have to try those things anyway. And it didn't disappoint or anything, apart from the stupid pricing. But with the new iPad, especially with the Pro version for me, it is a different kettle of fish. Why do we say that? Is that a thing? Well, I don't know why we say that. What I mean is, it's a different thing altogether. Right, so what are the upgrades that we're likely to see in the new iPad Pro? And why am I so hyped for it? This is me hyped. I don't really get hyped. Do I? No. Firstly, the mini LED display. That technology coming to the iPad Pro. I hope not, by the way, but there's a chance that it could only be available on the bigger version of the iPad Pro, the 12.9. In practical terms, we should see brighter and improved contrast ratios, darker blacks, and much more efficient lighting. This upgrade alone for me is worth the money and worth going for the larger 12.9 version. Performance is really important for me. There's a lot of creative work that I'd like to do on my iPad, but I'm really dependent on my MacBook Pro right now, which rarely leaves my desk. This is a 2020 Intel MacBook Pro. It is a powerful machine, but it's not that portable. It is heavy, it is big. There are loads of times that I wish I had a decent tablet with fast enough processing power for when I'm working from a cafe or traveling or working from a co-working space, for example. I just can't wait to test the new iPad Pro against the MacBook Pro and see how that performs. Which brings me to the new processor chip that we're expected to see in the new iPads, the A14X. According to some of the reports, we should see a huge upgrade to the A14 chipset that is likely to be just as powerful as the latest Apple Silicon M1 chips. Yeah, you heard you right. An iPad with processing power that rivals MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro. That is insane. It could also mean that we start to see real Pro applications being supported on this device. Final Cut, Logic Pro, and Xcode. By the way, when I say reports, I mean rumors and leaks, mostly from people who have been doing this for a long time and have been pretty accurate before. But if you want really in-depth videos on this stuff, daily in fact, go check my man Saran from Saran Byte. I'll leave a link in the description for you. I know there are a lot of people out there, me included, holding fire on purchasing the M1 Mac because they want to see what the iPad Pro has to offer. I mean, if you could do high-end graphic design, video editing, develop software, not just iOS, create advanced studio-like audio pieces. By the way, the new iPad Air can already do some of that stuff. It's very capable for some of these Pro use cases. What I really like about this is that it was one of Steve Jobs' vision. He really wanted the iPad to become the future of computing, accessible to everyone. And I really hope we're heading in that direction. Honestly, I think it's nearly there. It's already such a capable machine. Sure, there's always going to be a market for high-end computing that requires huge amounts of processing power, but at the consumer level, this could be a game changer. With all of these new features, we could see a huge uptake as people start to use it as a complete workstation. Which brings me to the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt uses the USB-C connector. That design is a massive benefit because we can safely assume that we can finally run multiple displays from the iPad, for example. It also means we will see incredible speeds for external hard drives, again reinforcing the idea that people will start using the iPad Pro as their main computer. I mean, if I can edit a 4K timeline at the same speed or faster than my fully spec'd out Intel MacBook Pro for say a third of the price, also with the added mobility and touchscreen aspect, it suddenly becomes a very interesting proposition. Guys, if you are enjoying this video, it would mean the world to me if you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel. I cannot wait for the new iPad. I'll be doing lots of content on it, be reviewing it, looking at apps for it. I'll be doing a productivity series on it, and I just can't wait for it. I think it'll be really exciting. And if that's something that you're interested in, hit the subscribe button and join me on that journey. Right, let's get back to the video. What is not so interesting for me is the report of a better camera and 5G. I don't think many people would care about the camera and LiDAR. I guess students will, and perhaps industries like healthcare, fitness, real estate professionals maybe. They could all benefit from a better camera, but largely most people who have an iPad also have a decent phone and would reach for that instead. Right now I'm using my S21 Ultra to record a second camera, and I've also got the iPhone here. So I would probably go for those devices before I reach for my iPad. And please don't get me started on 5G, especially here in the UK countryside. I'll start caring about 5G in about 3 to 5 years. If you live in a big town or near big cities, 5G might be an important aspect for you. But even then, we have Wi-Fi everywhere. You know, that connectivity isn't going away, so it still feels like a gimmick to me. Not interested. What I am interested in, and it doesn't feel like a gimmick, is the accessory lineup. With the leaked images of the new smart keyboard pattern details, we could see a big improvement to an already amazing accessory. I have the original Folio keyboard and I really love this thing, and I've been very tempted to go to the existing Pro just because of that magic keyboard. It's very rare when I see an accessory and I really want the accessory before I actually want the device. So up until now, it felt like a luxury upgrade to go to the iPad Pro rather than something that I really need. With all of these reported new features, the iPad Pro becomes something that I would genuinely use as my centerpiece of productivity. And I'll see you and your smiling faces in the next one. What is this? My doctor.